Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of Man City Unplugged with myself and Mr. Patrick, true City fan, next to the right of me, who's half on camera, half not. Your camera follows you about, doesn't it? You got one of them trendy cameras that follows you around the gaff. See? Yeah. See?
No, really. Yeah, it is one of those AI cameras. If I told it, it would follow me around the gaff, but I told it to stop. It's just that the thing keeps moving, the stand I have. But I have one of those trendy ones. You're right. It moves around. It follows you wherever you go. It used to annoy the hell out of Cass, I think, when I first started. It used to say your camera is...
Actually, I've just realised I've still got my sunglasses on. Sorry. They work as glasses.
You went outside today?
I just went to get my daughter. Yeah, I've just been to get my daughter from school. And yeah, she's got off to Turkey tomorrow. Lucky miss. So yeah. I've just seen something. You've seen this? You've seen that?
Wow, that's difficult, isn't it? What's happening with us? Look at this. I just saw Arsenal speaking to Rodrigo. Did you see that? I just saw that online, that Arsenal are seriously.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident now. I get what Martin was saying yesterday. We won't be going in for wingers. We won't be playing with wingers next season. I think we're going to see very limited time for wingers next season. I get what Martin's saying now.
Oh yeah, so you think he's going to go towards midfielders who have?
I think he's going for fullbacks. I think he's going to go for fullbacks that can get forward.
So Costa is out of the way. So maybe we go for that guy, the Garcia guy. What's his name?
I think the two that we'll be linked with now is either Chevalier or Garcia. Yeah.
Is this due to the fact that we were hackling the price? Remember that we wanted to pay the East Coast, and I heard that we were hackling down the price. We're trying to get it down.
Bro, right now, who fucking knows?
I know. Look, at this point in time, I think the best thing to do is just to wait and keep quiet and just see what the club does. Because if we play this guessing game, I don't think anybody will be able to guess.
We're all going to be mad by the time we sign anyone. We're all going to have lost our head if we do this guessing game on everything. Don't know. I mean, I did.
But lucky we have a team that can do it, I think so. Do you remember that time when I was talking about Nico Gonzalez playing as the 8 instead, if we don't get anybody? And Rodri playing as the DM or vice versa, them switching between each other.
Do you know what? We've probably already, right, we've gotten to... So, obviously, I want to discuss last night with you quickly, but then I thought we could have a bit of a discussion about this rebuild and just how big a rebuild it actually is. And here we are. But... Firstly, let me get your take on last night's. What were your thoughts? Firstly, what were your thoughts on the game?
Okay, look, the game surprised me because first of all, let's be honest. When we saw the lineup, everybody was going crazy.
I wasn't.
I was just saying.
No, you said you. Yeah, I saw. I'm doing this thing now. I did this with Alan earlier, where I went through everything that Alan messaged me during the show yesterday, and. I can do this, now that I'm watching, I'm keeping a steady eye on all the guests I get on here, right? And let me have a quick look at Patrick, because I did see your tweet last night when the lineup came out, and your tweet read, where is it?
Is it the one I said that Pep can do whatever he wants?
Yeah, at this point, Pep, do whatever you want. At this point, Pep, do whatever you want. I'm not going to comment no more.
Yeah, I saw the lineup. I was like, what's going on? Because this Bournemouth team plays with transition and counters and they're very strong in attack. But what I'm saying is I was impressed yesterday. I don't know if it's the fact that it's KDB's last game. KDB played as if it's the KDB from years ago.
Yeah,
if he scored that goal, I'm pretty sure people will be glazing him. But
I think the media did a really good job. I said this earlier, to ultimately not talk about everything else he did in yesterday's game and just to focus on the fact that he missed. Because apart from the miss, especially in the first half, I thought De Bruyne was our best player.
He was, and he was actually succeeding with the passes that he's been playing to do. He was cooking and he looked in great shape. And the guys looked like we're playing football for him. Gundogan had a very good game. When Gundogan is quiet, you don't see much of him. It's a good game. And then again, what's his name? Kovacic,
Bernardo?
Kovacic, apart
Kovacic
from the pen he was
brilliant,
cooking,
I think. Yeah.
he's one of the contenders for the player of the season. I think him and Josko Vardio, the two have been incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
Nunes was great. I know that he made a few mistakes, but Nunes was great. He was actually better than Akanji at right back. The only person I had concerns with was Akanji. He looks like he's not fit. It looks like he's not sharp. Yeah.
Bro, there was a point in the second. Right. Did he have a bandage on his leg at all in the second half?
I don't know. I didn't see it, but
right. But he's certainly, there were points in the second half where he literally looked like he was holding his leg.
Yeah, he looks like he's not fit because even that goal that we conceded against Crystal Palace, and no more Akanji gets it. And yesterday he almost made the same mistake where he couldn't get to the ball. Why? Because he's actually in front. But overall, I was impressed by the team. Obviously, Ruben Diaz. People are blaming Nunes for that. I am blaming Ruben Diaz. Some people say it's unfair, but it is what it is. There was a lapse of concentration for. I think
in that case,
the whistle's blowing. I think they thought the whistle was about to blow.
So in that case, Kovacic, was that Kovacic's fault or was that Vardio's fault?
I don't think that was Kovacic. I think that was Vardio.
You think that was Vardio? Then in that case, you should think that was Diaz. Then not because the Diaz. Sorry, not Diaz. You should think that was Nunes because the Nunes pass to Diaz was pretty much identical as the Vardio pass to Kovacic, just from the opposite side and a bit deeper.
I don't know. I just feel like Diaz has been sleeping a lot recently in recent games. Sometimes he's been getting caught out.
I hear it. I do hear
when he was playing with Khusanov, even when he was playing with Josko, they were saving him. And it used to be him who used to save the opposite. It looks like there's a bit of relaxation. Maybe he needs a bit of a break. You know, most of these players, I think maybe if they get a break, they'll be back. But overall, it was a good game, man. Bernardo Silva looked fresh. He looked like the Bernardo Silva from years ago.
Yeah.
Haaland was actually dropping in, connecting play with the players. It was actually one of Haaland's best games in a while.
Well, see, Alan messaged me during the show saying, during the game, saying Haaland shit, right? And saying Haaland's been rubbish. And I kind of said to him this morning, I thought Haaland had a good game.
Yeah, he had a good game. Haaland,
I thought Haaland had a good game.
And people should not forget that these players have been injured. And I think Pep Guardiola is trying to play them before the Club World Cup because he needs these big players in that. But Marmoush, he was obviously not playing very well. Let's be honest. Before the goal, his touches were not great. Every time somebody plays the ball to his feet, his touches were getting the ball away from him. But obviously an incredible goal. And maybe that's the reason why I'm telling people that maybe we might see Marmoush more of a winger next season. So maybe the other two wingers like Doku and Savio might actually be on the bench and Marmoush will be the winger. Because he looks.
Yeah, I think we'll see more of him. I think this is what I'm right. Marmoush, the fact that Marmoush has that in him, which we've seen, Savinho and Doku do not have that in them, right? Marmoush also already has probably shown more link-up play with Haaland than Doku and Savio have, right? And I'm not saying that him and Haaland are linking up amazingly, but they're probably showing more of a link-up, or certainly the runs of one is leaving space for the other. I think next season, I think you're right with what you say about Marmoush as a winger, but I think it's more going to be almost like a 10-stroke inside forward. It's not going to be like it's not going to be like a touchline hugging winger. It's not going to be like a Doku or Savio winger. It's going to be more like I guess a bit more like Henry at Arsenal type vibes. And maybe Bob on the other side, Echerverri on the other side, Foden on the other side. Maybe Savio could do the job there. I think we said this the other day. Doku is an out-and-out winger. I don't think he could kind of play a bit more on the inside. But look, that goal from Marmoush was unbelievable, bro.
It was amazing. And people, you can't even say he was just trying because he did look at the keeper and he said, I'm going to put it right over there. So, look, that's the thing about Marmoush, you know. And that's why I like him. He's very similar to Salah. Because Salah will have games like Marmoush where the touch is not great or things are not great, but he will come in with that goal that you need to get the monkey off your back or the pressure off you guys. Because Riyad Mahrez used to do that. I remember Riyad Mahrez would do that for us sometimes. Even Raheem Sterling, I remember in his prime, used to score that goal that needs to put pressure where we would play very well and we couldn't score. Another goal that impressed me was Nico Gonzalez and that run by Nico Gonzalez. And the fact for him to take the goal and not give it to Gundogan, who was in an open space, it just shows that this team has potential. That's why I keep telling people every time when they're talking about a number 8, I was like, but Nico Gonzalez plays number 8 and very well.
Yeah.
He also plays attacking midfielder. Unless Pep Guardiola sees something different, I just feel like we have got the twos. It's just the fact that I think the older twos need to leave to give space to the younger twos.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying we can still play a midfield of Rodri, Nico Gonzalez, and Echerverri or Foden as a number 10, and I think it can still look great. We just have to see. But the game was impressive. I liked all the goals. Bernardo Silva's goal reminded me of the Madrid goal he scored, where he gave the keeper the eyes and near post. Yesterday was okay. There was a different feeling, and maybe it's because of the atmosphere of KDB leaving, but the stadium was pumping and the boys were up for it, and I haven't seen that desire in a long time.
No.
Because Bournemouth had no answer. They had no answer at all. They tried to counter us. It didn't work out. They tried to pass the ball around. They were just passing the ball around in very, very poor spaces. There was nothing effective. Semenyo, who I was scared of, did nothing. Kluivert was hooked, I think so, after having a stinker. It was just they only had that opportunity where they hit the post. But apart from that, City was doing well. It's just that I am still not 100% sure defensively with Akanji and Diaz. I think I wouldn't mind Khusanov and Josko as the centre back pairing to see them for a while,
I think I'm ready to see some other stuff. I mean, look, I said on the earlier show that actually I thought Vardy was quite good on the left. Doesn't mean I want Vardy to play there on the left, but it is good to know that Vardy can drift in and out of being a centre back and a left back, and it doesn't seem to influence him too much. Because yesterday, I think Vardy was quite good. In fact, going forward, Vardy was good. Yeah, do you know what? As well, with anyone that thinks Marmoush, it was a bit of luck. I saw a stat earlier that I think since Marmoush has arrived in the Premier League, he's scored the most goals from outside of the box or something like that.
Yeah, so, and he scored a total of 8 goals, by the way, and he's just played 21 games, and he's just come into the league. And imagine if we had a Marmoush from the beginning of the season, I think we compete in the league. I know people will say, "Oh, you're mad." I think Marmoush would have scored some of the goals we needed in the league this season. What an incredible buy, man! I think we got lucky. I think we got lucky.
To get him, to get him, however much we might end up going and spending this transfer window, to get Marmoush for what we got him for, I think it's a steal. Because if he would have stayed over in the Bundesliga, you'd now be having him linked with every single top Premier League club at this point.
It could have been perfect for Liverpool to start looking at Salah leaving. He could have been a perfect guy to bring in. That could have been like an incredible signing for them. So big up that. Obviously, it looks like they were able to scoop him. And you're saying for that price, it's good we scooped him, I think, in January. Imagine if he continued in the Bundesliga and won the Golden Boot and everything. It would have been mad.
If we would have waited, till the summer, would have been a lot more. There would have been more interest for him, would have dragged out. And listen, by the looks of everything, we're going to have a busy summer. We're already fucking struggling, aren't we, to get things over the line anyway? But we'll move on to that. And then of course, sorry, what's this? Marmoush, 100 million. Must we always have a late defensive bozo? Yeah, bro. Do you know what, Kieran? I'm really, really with you on this. I felt for Ederson because we have to remember there's a good chance yesterday was Ederson's last home game, right? And he was on for a clean sheet. And another bozo moment, kind of, Ederson, could he have saved that? No, I don't think so. I think he took the goal well. So it is frustrating. I saw LB tweet earlier, and I think he's right. He said that Nunes has actually shown some signs over recent weeks that he could actually hold down a right-back position, apart from these bozo moments that we don't seem to be able to get out of him. It's just we don't seem to get these bozo moments out of him. And
I think they can get out though. They have become less bad. Let's be honest. Like they're not as worse as before, where
they're not as many. There's not as many.
Yeah, so I think look, I think he's become a competent right back. Like there's not a lot of right backs in the league, to be honest, that you wouldn't compare. Say, I'll take that one over Nunes. But
No,
you know what?
that is-
Big up to Nunes though. In this particular Man City team, there's only been one person so far who's done a KDB pass. He's done two of them now. Remember the one he did in the cup to Haaland, where he
Yeah,
did a through ball. This one with his foot, where he sent it to Gonzalez. You know
yeah,
what pisses me off? This is what I was telling people, that when Nunes was at Wolves and Sporting, Nunes was the creative midfielder. He was
yeah.
the guy who was balling and creating. Like, there's a pass in him, and I just pray to God somehow that if Nunes ever Pep trusted him in that midfield, I think we couldn't have suffered this season a bit. I think we would have had somebody with a bit of, but like that pass. Not many of our players are given passes like
No,
that anymore.
no. I
But you know
mean,
what?
yeah. But even Gonzalez over recent weeks, like, would the Southampton of game have been different if we played Gonzalez? Would the Southampton of game been different if we played Grealish? This is where, you know, Pep has made mistakes this season. But right, there's nearly 100 people in here. Let's get those likes up, please, people. What I want to discuss with you, actually, no, before we move on to that, and then the KDB thing. Did you shed a tear?
Yeah, I did actually. They finally broke me. I was, you know, when you're being manly and saying, "Nah, it's all good," but I started watching that video where it started with Khaldun, and it started getting emotional. You know, when people are speaking, and then I saw the kids speaking, then the wife
Yeah, the
speaking.
white kids, the family always do it, bro.
Yeah. Then I was like, this is painful. And then when you know, when somebody's leaving, right? I know we've been saying he has to go, he's finished. You say those things, but you don't realize until the time when you're losing, then what you're losing.
Yeah.
And then that video also got me. The video where Khaldun was walking around with him at the Etihad to show him the picture and telling him that we thank you very much. And he was like, this is beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, we as City fans don't realize that, yes, David Silva was good. Yaya was good. Aguero was good. But we're losing, I think, the best player in this club. And I know people say it's David Silva, but my God, this guy is too good, because somebody made a comp of all the passes. And I was like, oh my God, we are this. Do you know what, Dubs? The guy has been carrying us as the creative midfielder for how long? He's carried us. Let's be honest. Every award, every season he's won for being a creative midfielder. Until they made the award for him, remember? Because they kept on giving the season, prepare the season to somebody else. They made the award for him for the creative midfielder. This guy has been carrying the City team as the most creative player and the guy who creates for us for so many years. And I don't know how, like, I know we say it for Aguero, how can we replace him? This particular one is where you have to make the speech, how can we replace him? Because, my God, it's emotional. And the fact that it hurts a bit that obviously they didn't give him the contract, and then you see Khaldun walking around with him, and in your head you're like, but you guys didn't give him a contract. But you also understand why they're not giving him a contract, because I think if he was never at 4K a week, I think they could have been a bit lenient. I think it's also the amount. But the thing is, I think it also hurts more now where we say we pulled out of Verts. So why did you I don't know. There's just so many obstacles at this point.
This is where I'm. So, by the way, there's been some news today. It has come out that Kevin De Bruyne, I believe, has confirmed that he will not be joining another Premier League team. Right. So Kevin De Bruyne's confirmed he ain't staying in the Premier League.
I think after yesterday, maybe yesterday changed him, because before he was.
I never thought he would. I think. Do you know what? I think there probably was an element of, well, maybe I will go to another Premier League team. I don't really think many other Premier League teams would pay what De Bruyne would want, because I said at the start that would De Bruyne go to Liverpool if Liverpool said, I'll tell you what, we'll give you 400 grand a week for 2 years. I think
is he looking for that though? Because Napoli ain't
No. But here's the thing. I think if he's going abroad, if he's going away from the Premier League, I think he'll take a drop. Right.
Yeah.
But if he was going to one of our rivals, I think they would really have to make it worth his. Like, I don't want to sell my house. I'm happy living in my house right now. But if someone rocks up and offers me $1 million for my house, then I'll go, well, do you know what? I'll sell it. Yeah. I don't want to move, but for $1 million, fuck it, I'll sell it. I think the same with De Bruyne. If a Premier League team turned around and said, do you know what? We'll give you a 2-year contract of 400 grand a week. I think De Bruyne would go, well, fuck it. Yeah, I will do. Right. But I think, firstly, I don't think any Premier League teams would do that. And secondly, I think you're right that after yesterday, he has realised just how much the fans and the club appreciate him, right?
Isn't that the most? Isn't that the biggest and most emotional one we've had? Because look, I think that's the biggest one. Look, think about it. Like the way it was, like every single thing. Like, look, the David Silva one. I like. Obviously, he didn't get to do it because of the
COVID.
Yeah, COVID. But the Yaya one, I think I was sitting there saying, okay, Yaya.
No, Yaya, yeah.
Aguero one hurt me a bit because I was
Aguero
like, but this particular one, it was an event. And even, to be honest, even rivals were watching it because rivals were.
Yeah. It was because because the thing is, so the one for me, I'll be honest with you, none of them will beat the emotions of Vinny when Vinny left for me. But you've got to remember that Vinny played his last game and we didn't know until. So Vinny played against Watford in the FA Cup final, and it wasn't until the following morning that that he actually announced it. So it was after a game that Vinny announced it. But for me personally, I sobbed the whole way. I drove back from Wembley the next morning, crying my eyes out. But that was because of emotional reasons away from that. I think, but even then, Vinny, however much some rivals would appreciate Vinny for the captain he was our captain, right? And he fucking bled Manchester City, right? And so rivals wouldn't overly be too keen with him. Now, rivals, Kevin De Bruyne, although he bleeds Manchester City, he's just the type of player that you can't really dislike. And especially when the style of football he plays and everything, that you can only just be in awe of him. And I think that's why rivals watched it yesterday. And it was nice to see rivals paying tribute to him. It's nice to see rivals actually giving our fan base flowers, saying, do you know what, fan base have done it right as well. Because for every single person to stay behind in that stadium was quality. That stadium was full.
Man, I'm telling you, I was tearing up, and I was like, this is incredible. And I was like, this is how you're supposed to send a legend out of this, because people were saying, your legends, you guys, you don't send them as great, you don't treat them very well. That was emotional. And the fact that I'm saying, when you realize that this is KDB, I think he's bigger than City. Not in a way that is saying, no, he's bigger.
No, he's not.
Bigger than City because let me explain what I mean. I mean, like, he's bigger than City because he's a Premier League legend. He is the Premier League's player. It's not just for City. So when things were going, I just saw emotion.
That word, I get what you mean.
Yeah, you get what I mean, isn't it?
Sucked.
I know. The word is sucked.
I get what you mean is that ultimately,
it doesn't just for City.
Rivals won't watch City, but rivals will watch City for KDB.
I know. And then even if you saw the goodbye messages that are coming from everybody, that are coming from players, even the players, I don't know if one of the players said, finally, I can say, even though as a player I play for another team, that I know it's Lampard and Gerrard, but I put KDB above them now since he's officially
official. Well, he hasn't officially left yet. We've got one more
but you get
game.
my point, isn't it? You get my point what he meant. So it's just amazing, man. I was heartbroken, but it is what it is. It has to happen. It's a hard one. It's a difficult one, to be honest with you. Because a lot of rival fans say we should have still kept him, especially the point that Verts is not here. But I don't know. We have to move on. There's a point where we have to move on. It's going to be harder in 2 years. If we keep him for 2 years, it'll be more harder in 2 years, So it's best to do it now. I liked his speech when he says, finally, some people have let me talk after 10 years. I loved that, man.
The fact that he said that was brilliant.
Yeah, man. Look, he's grown on us, man. And my next City kid, I'm going to put his name, I'll still have the KDB name carrying them. I've carried the David Silva one. Even Raheem, man, big up to the guy. Respect to Raheem, man. I didn't know he also stayed here for that long,
Raheem and De Bruyne were very close as well because they joined in the same summer, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. He said it in the thing. He said it in his interview.
I remember reading an interview with De Bruyne where he said that before he joined Manchester City, because all he'd seen of Raheem Sterling is what the media had portrayed of Raheem Sterling, he said that I actually thought this guy's going to be a dickhead, right? And De Bruyne literally said, I thought Raheem Sterling would be a dickhead, but then we arrived at the same time. He said, we're a similar age. We've got kids that were a similar age. And also the media were portraying both of us as being, they're only going for City for money. They're overhyped. They're not all that. He said, so instantly me and Raheem actually got on and like a house on fire. And I actually learned that Raheem is absolutely nothing like the media. So I think all of it was fitting yesterday. And to be honest with you, look, yesterday when a lot of people were tweeting about he should have been given 1 more year, shouldn't have been given 2 years. I wanted to respond, right? But I thought not today. Today's not the day about that. Today's the day about celebrating De Bruyne. But now, in hindsight, I still don't think he should have been given a contract extension. Not on the amount of money he wanted, right? Not on where we are as a team. And look, yesterday looked brilliant, but against Crystal Palace, he was non-existent. Against, you'd probably pick, 4 or 5 games this season where you'd say De Bruyne was even half the man he has been, right?
Yeah.
That is the truth. And that's no slander on Kevin De Bruyne. He's 34 years old and he's gone through a lot of injuries, right? Does De Bruyne still have moments in him? Absolutely. He proved it last night. But the thing is, does he have 400 or 350 grand's worth of moments? He doesn't. And it's shit to say this, but rival fans will tell us that, players are bigger than the club, right? But then they'll tell us that we should, people always say that no player is bigger than the club. But then people will say that, City should offer De Bruyne another year's contract out of respect. But it's like, I hear the respect thing 100%. Yeah. And I think yesterday showed how much respect the club has for him. Also, if the club did not handle the communications correctly with him, that's shit. And I agree with that. But you can't show respect to a player by allowing your team to drop off. And I think if we kept De Bruyne and kept him on a big wage, we would be risking allowing the team to drop off for one player, and we can't do that.
However, he understands himself. I think so. Later on, he has understood that. Look, you have to, and you know what? I think it takes. It's hard to say because in life sometimes it takes such a big figure to be moved on for everything to just shift to a new generation. Because these guys are too like this is what I said. I think on the last show, you and me were. I said, even if you look at the set pieces, you look at the free kicks, some of the younger guys seem to be better at doing them now in 2025. Like Savinho's crosses are better than KDB's. We haven't seen a good cross, a corner from KDB in a long time. Marmoush's corners are good. Marmoush is good at free kicks. But sometimes you see when these senior figures are on the pitch, like Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, KDB, these players will give the ball away and say, you know what? These guys are legends here. I have to respect them. So you have to move on. And that's the same thing with the passing the ball, where you see, I was saying Echerverri came on the pitch and he was asking for the ball. The same way when Marmoush came to this team, asking for the ball from Bernardo Silva, and these guys are just rotating the ball. They are so scared sometimes to put their hands up. But now you see passion, where players will talk to each other and say, because you can't do it.
I tell you what, yesterday were 2 great examples, and be very interesting to see how what Pep's thoughts were on 2 moments yesterday. The first one being the Marmoush goal, right? I mean, very Vinny-esque, to be fair. The second one, though, was the Nico Gonzalez one, because Nico Gonzalez actually looked like he wanted to play a pass and then thought, nah, fuck this. I'm taking the player on and scoring myself. And
I'm loving that from the players. I'm loving that from these new players. They're like, you know what?
Yeah.
F it.
But it was so with Gonzalez. He literally, you saw him stop, look up, look at the player as if he was going to play it, and then think, "No, I'm not passing this." And I like that because I think for a player that hasn't been given maybe the opportunity of recent weeks that we wanted for him to be given, for him to be in that moment and think, "Nah, do you know what?" Because I always say this: if you get given an opportunity, you've got to take it. And yesterday, it's almost like Gonzalez thought, "Nah. I'm not being the pass or the pass before the pass today. I'm taking a player on and I'm scoring." I thought fair play. And I hope we see him. I hope we see him against Fulham. So now, Patrick, where are you? Are we getting Champions League football?
I don't know. We need to get a draw.
We don't need a draw.
We don't need a draw anymore now. We need to win.
No. A draw guarantees us by any fucking means, whatever.
Wait. Can we get out of? Let me see the table.
If we lose, and Forest beat basically, if Newcastle lose or draw, if Villa lose or draw, or if Chelsea lose or draw, we get Champions League football.
Okay, so Newcastle are playing Everton, Chelsea are gonna play Forest, and then Aston Villa play United. That's the shit team United.
Right. So let's just presume Newcastle beat Everton. Yeah.
I think it's a draw.
Right.
I think they'll draw.
Yeah,
okay, you're assuming. Okay,
let's presume that Manchester City lose to Fulham. Right.
Okay, grand. Yeah.
So we lose to Fulham. We end up on
68 points.
68 points. Right.
26 goal difference.
And a great goal difference. Right. We then Newcastle win. They go ahead of us. So Newcastle go third. We drop down to fourth. If Aston Villa win, Aston Villa go to fourth and we drop down to fifth, which means it would then be on the the Forest v Chelsea game. Now, if Forest win that, unless they win that about 10-0, they don't go ahead of us. So if Forest win, they can't go ahead of us, really and truly.
So basically, what you're telling me is we truly have to draw or win. Because we are leaving that in the fate. We're leaving that to fate, isn't it?
Right, true. Right. If we draw, we are. There's no one can stop us. If we draw, I believe it's even to the point where if we draw, we probably get third.
Yeah, we stay there.
We stay third.
Stay there. Yeah.
But if we lose, it would still mean Nottingham Forest.
Things have to go like a lot of things have.
Yeah. We're in at this point, we're in quite a good position because I'm not going to lie. Chelsea going to Nottingham Forest on the last game of the season is a difficult game for Chelsea. Very, very difficult.
It is. And you know what? The only one who I see has got an easy game is Aston Villa versus United. Because first of all, I think United lose against Spurs. United won't still give a shit about that game. United win against Spurs, they'll be hungover and they wouldn't care. Yeah, I think United is just gone.
Villa are winning that game for me.
Yeah, they win that game. So the ones I'm praying for is Everton because Moyes is not dropping. Moyes is not dropping.
But apparently Everton are missing their whole defense. So
what's fate? Why is fate doing this? Where these teams have played Spurs and United?
But bro, I just look at that Forest game and think, Forest are in real bad position now because even if Forest win, if results don't go their way, Forest is stuffed.
And they were third for so long.
Yeah,
they was third for so long. I don't know how Wolfie is taking this because Wolfie promised us that he's going to finish second over Arsenal, and now he's just okay. So basically, City have to win. Just go for the win.
No, I mean City draw, and we're mint.
Yeah,
City
but I mean,
draw.
like I think their mind should just be let's go win. Is Fulham playing for anything? Let me see.
Not really. I don't believe now. But if you could confirm that. Yeah,
no, they're not. They've got 54 points. Brighton has 58 points, and Brighton still has a game to play. And Brighton plays Spurs, so Brighton will probably beat Spurs.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine so. Where is Brighton Spurs? Might be at Spurs. Who cares? I mean, I just think now a draw is good enough for us. But I can't see.
Would it matter if Brighton is going to Spurs away? Does that even matter?
Do you know what? We need a draw. Them not, but I can't see Chelsea beating Forest at Forest Ground.
Can I ask you a question? So basically, Tottenham and Man United are home. Will their fans still allow them to lose their last home game?
Bro, I don't think it will matter.
Depends on the trophy. Does it depend on the trophy?
I think if United, right, so Maguire's come out and said that he admits that maybe the team have not played as well in the league because they've got nothing to play for. That's why they've played a bit better in Europe, right?
Yeah.
So if they go and win against flipping Tottenham, they're going to be out on the piss till fucking Saturday.
Okay, grand. So the home game won't matter at all.
I don't think so. And United is shit at home anyway. So, but you know what? Stranger things have happened at sea. So you never know. Right, let's get into what I want to talk about: the rebuild. People, nearly 100 of you in here. If you get the likes up, please. I know today we have gone live at the same time as Mancunian Way, but you know, I've
noticed that all the city channels are going live. I did the 10 o'clock, and I realized late when I was live. I was like, oh shit.
You know what? I was going to go at 10. Then I saw you at 10 and thought I'll put it at 10:30. Then so I went at 10:30.
I slept. I hope I slept. I woke.
Oh, so did you start late anyway?
Yeah, I did. Oh, so I put it at 10:40. Then I went to find out. I was like, he's also starting at 10:40. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I have to get rid of it. I just have to do it. Yeah. But I'm gonna start targeting. I'm gonna start targeting 11:30 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
In the morning.
Okay. 9 o'clock's a mint one if you can do that. Before I went away, I could have done that because I was up early. But since I've been back, I'm still getting used to waking up early again. Still catching up on sleep. And that.
You're on a grind. That other 2 weeks ago, you're on a grind every morning. I was watching
and then I went on holiday drinking for a week, and now I'm trying to get back there. So yes, Linny, what are you saying? Hope you're good. Right. So rebuild. We've spoken a bit longer than I thought, so there'll probably be a part 2 to this, I think, Patrick, with me and you, where we talk about the rebuild. But well, we started off. Are we thinking all three of our keepers? We'll start off with keepers, and maybe we'll get through the defence today. Then we'll move on to midfield another time. Do you think all three of our keepers go this summer?
I don't know. I keep hearing that, but I don't think so. Obviously, somebody said Ederson posted something on his Instagram, which looks like a good buy.
Really?
Yeah, that's what somebody said. Somebody said it yesterday. It's like, oh, Ederson has posted something. It looks like he's leaving.
Let me have a little look. 1 second. If that is true, I see. I have a feeling he is, and I said this earlier on that because we don't know, we couldn't say goodbye to Ederson yesterday. But
you're not sure of what's going to happen with him. I think nobody's sure at this moment, to be honest with you.
Special night with all his family. He's posted special night with all his family. Maybe people think that could be it.
Yeah, maybe that. But I wanted to ask though. Obviously Ortega cannot be number one, and maybe they are not going to make him be number one. Obviously Scott Carson, I don't know if they're still going to just keep him just for the sake to stay there as a third keeper. But I don't know. I don't think all three will leave. Maybe Scott Carson will still stay there for a season, or maybe they're looking for another younger, yet older keeper to be there. Well, Joe Hart would be a good shout, if he didn't retire.
He's retired, didn't he? Otherwise, bring back Joe Hart. We never should have sold him. Don't sell Joe Hart. Super Joey Hart.
I know that'd be fun. That would be fun to have. But I don't know. Both keepers leaving. Do we get now? You see this guy, Diogo Costa, is signing an extension.
Is that true? Have you got another look at it while we've been?
No, I was looking on Twitter, but I didn't see anything that has said, because it was, what's his name? It wasn't it Fabrizio or Fab who kept on talking about it. So I'm not sure. But okay, let's just say that we get keepers. I think Ederson maybe might leave. He's been looking like leaving for a long time.
Yeah.
Ortega obviously wants to be number one. Leverkusen were the ones looking at him. That wouldn't be a bad signing.
But then that's the interesting one now. With if we're not in for Wirtz, what does that mean for McAtee and Ortega to Leverkusen?
What do you mean? Like you want to get you want to a bit of payback on that?
Well, I mean, listen, I said at the start when people were saying I don't want McAtee to go, I was saying, look, if he has to go to get us Wirtz, we let him go. But listen, if Wirtz, we're no longer in for Wirtz, would you keep McAtee?
I don't know, man. Is he gonna give McAtee the opportunity though? Is he going to give him the keys? Because if he keeps McAtee, he has to play McAtee as number 10. Is he going to do that?
This is true. McAtee has refused to go Leverkusen. He wants to stay in England. Interesting.
Yeah, isn't there's rumors that Forest are also after him?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Fair enough. Listen, if that can actually, that's come out today. Morgan Gibbs-White, apparently, all the Forest players are pretty certain that he's leaving, and I mean, different players to be fair. Which Nico are you meaning? Went Stuart? Are you meaning Nico O'Reilly or Nico Gonzalez? Either way, they're both slightly different players, but O'Reilly is probably a bit more similar to McAtee. Yeah, so hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Marketing. Okay, let me ask you yourself. Would you keep him? Like, where is he going to play?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's one of those ones where when people talk about players that should leave or players that should stay, we can't keep everyone, can we? Now, do I think that McAtee is a good squad player? Yeah, I do. Do I think that McAtee, with where I want to go, is good enough for City level? Nah, I don't think he is. It's sad, but it's one of those ones where I want McAtee to go somewhere, and do you know what? Everton's a great shout. I'd love McAtee to go somewhere and to do well and to be happy for him, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be a Cole Palmer where I'm too happy for him.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, he has to play. And you've just seen the message from Pep Guardiola saying that he feels bad for Echerverri, Marketing, and the other players sitting at home, and he wants a smaller squad. So let's ask ourselves this. Let's say, for instance, we want to keep players, but we want to have a small squad, but we need quality. Because if we keep a small squad, right, we can't keep a small squad with people who are iffy or potential. Going forward, everybody in this squad has to be a baller. You get my point? Like, if Pep wants a small squad, every single player that is in that small squad has to be able to produce. True. That's why I think Nico Lewis is also on the. Because if you think about it, let's say we have a small squad and we need quality.
Listen, it depends where you're playing Rico Lewis, because I will still say that Rico Lewis in a more advanced role has something to offer. But then I would also say McAtee in an advanced role has something to offer. So it's a good point. I think the other thing that's very important right now is if Pep does want a small squad, then availability is massive.
Yeah.
And then you are looking at Ake and Stones and going, ooh. Yeah, Martin, it did work. Thank you very much. Appreciate you setting that up. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to everyone that's come over from Mancunian Way. I see you had a marathon, Martin. 2 hours, 20 minutes was that. Salute to you. Salute to you. No, but I think this is where we are with Stones and Ake now, and their availability. Because, by the way, have you seen what Pep said, or did you hear the interview of what he said?
No, I saw what he said, and I also saw the interview. He had a smile at the end when he said I'll quit, but when he was talking about players that he wants a small squad, he was serious, and he was saying himself as a manager, he doesn't have the emotion anymore. He says to sit and watch players, and he mentioned Echerverri, and he mentioned Marketing, mentioned obviously a few people like Khusanov, Victor, who is left at home. And in my head, I was like, oh, maybe it looks like he's actually struggling with this because some of the players are quality. Or maybe is he trying to tell us that I don't really want to play the other players, to leave some of these players, but I have no choice because the squad is too big and everybody's hungry.
Do you know what? To me, because I this morning was actually saying of the things that we have to mention that Pep's maybe got wrong. One of the things was the handling of some players.
Yeah.
But then reading that, it now makes me think actually Pep does care about, because sometimes the ruthlessness of Pep, the one that I won't go as far as to say pissed me off, but one that I thought was a bit harsh was Rico Lewis being left out of the final. Right, not the starting 11, but not even being on the bench. Because if you have contributed to getting that team to that final, which he did in the semi-final, to then get completely dropped for the final, I thought, Pep, that's a bit harsh, man. That is a bit fucking harsh. But maybe that's what he's saying, that he's not comfortable with it, doing things like that. And I guess this is the thing, that this season we had the squad size that Pep wanted, but then unfortunately in January went and bought another 4 or 5 and added to it, and that's made the squad a lot bigger. So if we're going by what Pep's saying, that would mean that if we're bringing in, let's say we bring in 4 players in January, 4 players in December. Sorry, fuck me, what am I doing? 4 players in the summer, right? We're going to need to be getting rid of at least 6 to get it down to the size that Pep wants his squad to be at, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of players that have to go. If what he's looking at, he says he wants below 24, 25. So he needs a lot to go. To be honest with you, what came in January, I think is good. I keep telling people, it's like whoever came in January has to stay. I think
Yep.
if Pep is thinking of, oh, maybe some of the January people, I did not really want them. Maybe that's the message he's sending to their board. But I think whatever came out in January is well needed than some of the players we have. I think the
Yeah.
first place to get obviously we have to get rid of Phillips, right? Get rid of Phillips. KDB, but
Yes,
that,
we do need to get rid of Calvin Phillips.
I know, but
Confirmed. And Kyle
defense
Walker.
needs trimming. Yeah.
Walker.
Yeah, that defense needs trimming though. There's a lot of defenders in this squad, a lot of defenders. So he has to decide: is he going to get rid of his favorite Akanji? Does he keep his favorite Akanji? Does he get rid of John Stones, Nathan Ake? You know what I mean? How many does he get rid of? So we'll see anyway. Don't forget, people are looking for Juma Ba to come in. If Juma Ba comes in, does that keep Diaz? Does Diaz stay? Do you give a point? There's a lot of things.
Diaz, this is the thing. Yeah, Wilson Esband has to go. Sorry, Wilson Esband for me. He's not good enough.
Yeah, he has to go. Yeah.
Yeah, Esband. And this is the thing that if we're wanting to keep a smaller squad and that means availability becomes a real big thing, right?
Yeah. So you have to be available. Yeah.
5 minutes. Don't worry, we'll get there in time. Don't worry. We'll get there in time. I've checked on my maps. Don't worry, we'll be fine. So she's got gymnastics, so she's a bit. Anyway,
they're always very demanding, isn't it? Same as my daughter.
They're always demanding to get to where they want to go, but when it's time to go to school in the morning, not so demanded. But anyway, yeah, Juma Ba. I see. I would like to bring Juma Ba back, but I think we would have to get rid of Ake and Stones if we're thinking of bringing Juma Ba back. And then, are we keeping Reece or is he going out on loan?
I don't know. It's very hard. You know. For me, I was thinking it's like if Juma Ba is ready, why don't you swap him with Reece and give them Victor Reece? But are they gonna do that? But it looks like they rate him highly. They're trying. Remember, they say Pep Guardiola is trying to make him a CDM. But maybe I think they've got long-term plans for him. But you do that. Bring Juma Ba, put Reece back to Lens. Lens maybe will take him because they might need defenders. But I'm telling you, this particular summer. But do you know what's funny about this? This particular summer, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen. That's why I'm just keeping quiet because I'm like, I don't really know what's going to happen. Because thinking about it, some of these players have to be moved on before the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
You can't start because some of this. Remember what KDB said? I can't play the Club World Cup. There's the risk of me getting injured. What about some of the players who are getting moved? Are they going to replay the Club World Cup knowing that if I get injured, I'm getting sold anyway? They probably to leave. We're talking about like Jack Grealish. He has to make a choice. So I play in the Club World Cup.
And it's not just about the player; it's about the club as well. Because you're Manchester City, and you're looking at John Stones right now, right? And by the way, look, we all love John Stones, cult hero, absolute. He's cult hero. Don't know if he's legend, but he's definitely cult hero, right? Treble season, Atletico Madrid away, that game quality, Champions League final, so many times. John Stones is a legend, right? Cult hero, not a legend. But Man City would be looking at him going, do you know what? That is a wage we would like to get off of the wage bill, right? And for the availability, 100%, because I'm pretty certain that, Nico O'Reilly has got more game time than Ake and John Stones this season, right? So that tells you the game time thing, they'll want rid of John Stones. However, the club will be thinking, we can't play him in the Club World Cup because if we play him and he gets injured...
There'll be no value. Yeah.
They need to get him fit. And literally, and will Stones get suitors? I hear it. I've heard that Everton would be keen on taking him back there.
I think a lot of people go after him. I think people are being too dramatic about it. I think there's a lot of clubs.
His injuries are really bad, bro. And if you're a team lower in the Premier League, where the money you spend means even more. You can't be giving John Stones fucking 200 grand a week and him playing 10, 12 league games.
He's going to have to bite the bullet himself also, to be honest. He's going to have to, there's a lot of guys who have been in this situation, defenders, who've reduced the amount of elsewhere.
He doesn't have to. This is the thing.
Because he can sit for 1 year.
He could. I'm not saying he would, and I'd like to think that John Stones is the type of player that when he is fit, he likes to play. We've seen it with England. He comes back from being injured and he's straight back in that England squad and playing. But he could sit here and earn and go on a free. don't know. We don't know. City might.
I don't know. I think people
pay
go
half
after him.
his.
He will get suitors. I think somebody will come after him because let's not forget that even a half-fit John Stones is world class. So I think somebody will come after him.
Facts, big facts. He is as when he's fit and he's unbelievable. I mean, when John Stones is fit, for me, he's probably our best centre back.
Yeah, he'll probably walk into that Chelsea defense because that Chelsea defense stinks, So he'll probably walk into that Chelsea defense.
Do you know what? And actually, for experience, because that's something they need is experience. So, all right, so we're gonna leave it. We'll leave it with defense. We're gonna. Sorry, people, we've overlapped today, and I'm getting eyes, so I do need to go. But
yeah, we'll do a part 2. We'll be back. But put those likes up, guys. Put those likes up.
Let's get those likes up. We will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Hopefully we will be celebrating. Hopefully we will be celebrating a Tottenham Europa League final win.
Oh, this evening. Are you gonna do a watch along?
Nah. Cassie, bro, we've got obviously Cassie's a United fan, Soups is a United fan. They both live with me. Ty's coming over, who's a United fan, and our Biz, who is also a United fan, who sometimes on Trafford on the United channel sometimes. So yeah, it's going to be, and to be fair, I'm going to spend a bit of time with my daughter before she goes away. But let's hope that we get a Tottenham win, because I don't want to end this season with them lot with the trophy and us lot not. But Patrick, you got anything coming up?
No. Well, the only thing that is coming up is it's going to be a preview for the. I don't know. Tomorrow is Thursday. Yeah, the Kells and Pat show. That's all. What's coming up at 7 p.m. That's all. I might do something in the morning, depending on the news. But it's been very hard to be doing shows because you're like, what's actually out there to talk about? We're ending up milking the same thing. So look, if I find something, I'll go in the morning. But at 7 p.m. I have the Kells and Pat show to do anyway.
Yeah, for real. Right, and
but on Friday I'm doing a giveaway because I've reached 4K subs. Big up to all of you.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, I'm doing the giveaway, but only members only because I was like, how am I going to give away 4,000 people? I can't see them, but you can see the members. So
yeah.
You have to be a member. Yeah,
and become a member. And I'll redirect you tomorrow as well because I have a show with the Sheikh at either 5 or 6 p.m. So we'll redirect over to you. Anyway, people, let's all cross every single finger, toe, thumb, eyes, anything else you can cross that Tottenham get the job done tonight so we don't have to watch them not celebrate. Anyway, we are out. Peace.
Yeah, big up to you guys. Enjoy.